Okay, let me share my screen. Not this one. Sorry. Okay, this one. Okay, so hi everyone. I hope you can see my screen. Dylan.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, great. So hi everyone, and welcome to this event. This is the first event that is co-hosted by Rome chapter in London. So we are from far in distance, but near with hearts. Sorry, this is very lame. But so I'm Flavio Martinelli. I just joined in January UiPath as a technical account manager. But as Christina said, I was a UiPath MVP last year. And with me, it's my friend and buddy Dylan Hackett, that is an innovation director in Taitila and UiPath MVP. So what we will talking today? Sorry, little bit disclaimer. Sorry for my English. I'm still an Italian, and it's very hard for us to speak English, but I'll try. So we will speak about communication mining. Why communication mining? I have to say it's one of the products that before joining UiPath had always interested me. And joining UiPath, I had the chance to study it and try it, and it's an amazing product. So I will speak about communication mining with my enthusiasm and my experience of a 3 months technical account manager. So go easy on me. It's like I came to this event because it's like a product that you have to see and you have to try. It's amazing. So we will start. I will start with a product presentation, and then I will pass the ball to my buddy Dylan. He will show us some use cases and or real world scenarios. And then we will go on the platform and see how to create a project and upload a data set. And we will start to make the first training because it takes a little bit of time to create a valid model. I already have one model that is already trained. So we will make some test, a couple of minutes of testing, and then we will see the final training. And then, sorry, the final model. And at the end of this session, we will go and see how to use the outcome that comes from communication mining with the UiPath Studio. And I prepared 3 demos with 3 different approach. One is with the communication mining activities, one is with the stream, and the other one is with the APIs that communication mining gives to everyone. So let's start. So basically, the header of this slide is a real truth. Every message counts. So we are humans. We are different from other species because we can speak and we can understand languages, and we use this language every day in every single situation in our life. If we speak about our daily job, we speak with our customer, we speak with our colleagues. Every message can be a problem, can be an opportunity. So the communication is at the base of our society, I would say, and at the base of our business. So starting from this, we know, and history showed us that analyzing and extracting valuable information from communication is not so easy. It's never been easy. We tried a lot of approaches. We tried the surveys, but for example, surveys are not cost effective, and it's not easily, they are not integrable with the communications or automation system. We tried with keywords or hard-coded rules. So the most famous things, regex. So regex can help us, of course, but in a stable world. I mean, in a world that it's the same tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. But if something changes in the communication, probably that regex rule might not work anymore, or those keywords might change. So it's not so reliable. Then we tried web form and tickets, but this kind of approach, as you can see on the slide, only solves for no issue, but then you have to ask the customer to maybe use another tool or reach another website, and they might not like it. And we arrived to a world in which the NLP product came to life. And there are a lot of providers that give natural language process APIs, and you can use them. But those natural language APIs are not cannot fit maybe for our environment. Maybe we are an insurance, and those models cannot understand our needs, and so you need to build a big team of AI engineer or data scientist. And so this model will become not cost effective, and working in a company, we have always the eye to the cost revenue balance, no? So coming from this and still analyzing this problem, I can share you later the links to these couple of studies that says that 48% of the employees spend 48% of the time of one employee is spent to answer and reading of emails. And I think that everyone has the same problem with as the studies says, because I myself spend a lot of time answering emails or reading emails. And another study says that 30% of the employees says that emails are the biggest distraction from real work. It's true, because sometimes we lose so much time to reply to emails that and that time is lost, and we could do something with greater value apart instead than writing or reading emails. And last data is that 78% of companies aren't satisfied with their ability to use data when managing customer interaction. So it's not coming from the previous slide. It's not easy to extract valuable insights and information from the interaction and the communication. So what changed let's say last year or in the last 2 years? Generative AI. So basically everyone had experiments has at least one experience with generative AI. So ChatGPT, for example, or the other product that came along. ChatGPT, it's the new revolution. I mean, the AI changed our life, and there are a couple of studies that I will share later that are from McKinsey and Goldman Sachs that says that the use of AI and the AI-powered automation will increase the global GDP of 7 trillion. I really don't know how many zeros are in 7 trillion, so I think there are a lot of monies. And of course, the use of AI, and we will see later, AI-powered automation will improve our work-life balance and our work experience. I think that everyone can at least share one experience about this. I myself, I like to make some coding, even for example, web application, and ChatGPT or these models are much better coder than me. And these are the game changer of this era, I would say. So with generative AI now, it's possible to understand what every customer wants, track and measure all services demanded in real time, and automate every request. Yes, because generative AI now can understand my needs, can learn from what I'm asking, and what I'm replying to their within the same communication. And with the use of this generative AI and the tools that I will show you in the next slide, all these points will be possible. So we are here for this. We are speaking about communication mining. So what is communication mining? Basically, communication mining is a no-code NLP platform that mix this NLP with a customer-specific machine learning model. And all this mix of technologies are used to analyze and automate business communication. So with communication mining, you can mine, monitor, and automate every communication. in real time. That's crazy. In real time, you can extract the data from one email or from one Salesforce ticket or whatever you want. And then you can take action directly from the analysis of these verbatims. So with Communication AI, as you can see on the last point of the slide, Communication Mining's AI enable business to automate their most common and anti-consumer requests from beginning to end. I think that coming from a system integrator and coming from not so long, but a medium career in RPA, I can say that this was, and I don't know if Dylan agrees with me. Dylan, I think that having the chance to automate make automation end to end is a game changer. What do you think?
Absolutely, and I'm going to touch upon this a little bit in some of the stuff that I talk about. But we need to remember that this is a tool in amongst the wider platform, and whilst the tool itself is fantastic, as we'll see as we go through the session today, bringing that into that wider ecosystem of what you can then do with all of these different tools plugged together. We talk about things like fully automated enterprises. Well, it's these tools that are going to get us there.
Yes, totally agree. Thank you. And so let's go and let's make a deep dive. So we can see this slide is divided in 3 macro sections. So the first one is connect. Why connect? Because with communication mining, you can connect to plenty of different sources like emails, ticket, service desk, requests, CRM notes. So you can take all this information and or using, for example, our pre-built integration, for example, with Microsoft Exchange or Salesforce, or you can imagine to use to create UiPath robots that connect to your systems, retrieve the data, and then ingest the communication with communication mining. And after you are connected and you ingest the data, you have to interpret those data. And we will see later that communication mining has 4 pillars, 4 or 5 pillars that on which is based. So the first one we said is connect, and the second one is train, because once you upload your data on communication mining, you have to train the model and teach communication mining how to interpret your communication. And this is so much easy. And just to, I think I'm the best example of this, because I didn't know anything 3 months ago about communication mining. And in three months, not full time, I had the chance to train a model with the data that I downloaded from a free website about, for example, restaurant reviews. So it's very easy. And the using of AI inside communication mining is amazing, because communication mining will learn from your validation, and you will arrive at some point that it's like that you are learning from communication mining, because communication mining will predict, yes, this mail is about I don't know, quality of food, and you with a 95% of I'm sure about with a 95% of percentage. And so this communication mining learns from itself and from your validation, of course. Then the discover, because now that you are you trained your model, communication mining will analyze all the stuff you put inside, all your communication, and with the discovering, with all the dashboard, we will learn to analyze and identify, for example, the roadblocks in your communication or the major problems that your company might have. And after this, there is the automate part, because okay, this is great, but if you don't attach the last part, the automation can be useful, but not at 100%. Because with the outcome of communication mining, you can take decision with a high percentage of certainty, and this is amazing. So, for example, you will see later on during this meeting, I will show you how based on the communication mining interpretation, I will send emails to answer to restaurant reviews. And I think this is one of an example, but can be a lot of them. And so, of course, the drive, because once you automate, you will drive, you will make take decision and decide how to use this use the outcome from communication mining. You can use it via API, RP, RPA, CMS, or CRM, whatever you want, of course. So, taking an example. So, on the left of the screen, we have an email. We are an insurance, so as you can see, we have an email that says, "Hi Steve, our client wishes to change their name to John Roberts. He also moved to a new home. The new address is," I don't know how to read it, so this one. "Can you please amend and issue updated docs? Its policy is this number, by the way. And on this other number of policy, they also moved. Please, can you update it to 96 Park Road, Sheffield, S5 8PL. Cheers, Ed." So this is a common. I worked in insurance in the past, and this is a common email, because an insurer is asking probably the HQ to change something on the policy of his customer. And how communication mining interpret this email? Okay, so these are the labels. We will see later on that there are two main, let's say, data or variables in communication mining. Ones are the labels. The labels give the context of the communication, and the other one are the entities. The entities are pieces of information that you can find in the body, and those are, let's say we can assume them like variables. For example, this John Robert is an entity, and it's recognized as the first name and the last name. So, and for example, even the policy number is an entity, because it's something that, of course, this is probably a already trained model. This is something that I told the communication mining it's important, and communication mining recognize this structure as most probably a policy number. And imagine that I will receive this information as the outcome of communication mining, and with that I can take I don't know, the name change robot that will go on my CRM and do all the stuff the stuff there to change the name of this policy. So coming back to this, the communication mining recognized that there are two labels here. This is the main label, policy, and we can have some sub-label. So the first one is amendment, that you can see these two are in common between these two examples. But this first one has let's say a children of the children, that is address change. So communication mining recognized in this communication that someone is asking for these two policy number to make an address change with this data, and recognized that for this policy number, someone is asking for a name change, and the name is John Roberts. So I don't know, but I don't know about you guys, and Dylan, I don't know about you, but I think this is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is communications mining. It's similar to document understanding, if you're familiar with that. In terms of getting this information and having a way of classifying it and ingesting it. But what I love about communications mining is it does all of that kind of delivering through the tool and the model in kind of a more of a holistic way, I guess, than what document understanding does, because it's kind of trying to take everything into account, which gives you all of these lovely outcomes like the classification and the extraction, but it also allows you to see this in amongst the bigger picture of your business, which is where I think it kind of has won over a little bit on document understanding, to be honest.
Thank you, Dylan. So moving on, I want to introduce you another topic in communication mining, that is quality of service. So let's take this other example. So Lucy is writing a mail, and then it's saying, "Hello, this is the third time I have followed up on this issue. So it's very difficult for me. These traits have been unmatched for 10 days because you are mismatched in CTM. Can you provide a status update? This needs to be resolved ASAP. Regards, Lucy. So what's the difference between, instead the example before? Communication mining extracted these labels. So follow-up, confirmation, CTM, escalation, exception, mismatch, block, status update, urgent. But the amazing things is that he understands the human language and he can interpret the human language. And he saw that Lucy, I can say, is very pissed off. So you know, this quality of service and tone are two values. Sorry, two key values that lets you understand if who is writing to you is angry, if your service is not good, so if there is some problem, there are complaints. So imagine this value in a customer service company. So when you receive emails of complaints, customer mining analyze them and might make a prioritization. So let's answer first to the customer that are more angry, or because we missed some answers and they are getting angry. We might have some legal problems. So I think this quality of service and tone are two values that can really help to understand which communication we are getting from our customers. So let's highlight what is communication mining. So we already said that communication mining is a no-code platform, and you will see it's totally no-code. And it's fantastic because it's the platform that guides you in its training. So it's like she said, to grow, you need to do this. So it's amazing in my point of view. It's hyper scalable, so it's on cloud. You can attach all the communications you need. You get real-time monitoring and alerts with a lot of dashboard and analytics. It uses the best specialized transformer and large language models to enable you to understand what's the meaning of your communications. You can use it in your unattended automation. It's totally customizable, and this is important. It's built to safeguard your data, to have the best compliance for the human in the loop, and to have the best governance in the IEUs. You know, it's a big topic these days about the ethical use of AI. So we guarantee that the communication mining has the best in the market, and can protect your data, and will not use in any unethical way the AI. And it's very easy to integrate because it will provide you a plethora of APIs or connectors. So just a quick deep dive on the pillars. The first one we said is connect. As you can see on the slide, there are a lot of connections that you can make naturally with the AWS, Pega, Salesforce, Exchange, Google Workspace. And as I said before, you can always create a robot that extract data from your custom CRM and put them and send them to communication mining for the ingestion. Okay, this is amazing. Training. You will do training with the guidance of AI, as I was saying before. So you see on this example on the right, there is an email that says, "Hi, please, can you return my money? I want to claim compensation whatsoever." And this is the platform that says, "You look, Flavio, I'm pretty sure that this conversation is at least about refund, and I'm 95% sure about this. So this is the AI that suggests you the labels of your models. So you just need to take a quick look and say, yes, you're right. And maybe you need to add more labels to this, because one thing that I want to share with you is that different thing from other tools, communication mining is multi-labeled. So you don't need to have only one label for one communication, but one label can have multiple labels, and this is suggested to you because it's important and gives more capabilities to communication mining to understand better the communications. And then they discover this is another amazing feature. It's the clustering. So while you are training, communication mining will continue to training and read all the communication that you let him ingest, and will cluster some type of communication. Sorry, for example. In this example, he clusterized these emails that are different, coming from different people, but he's telling you, he's suggesting that all these communication have in common the refund labels. So as you can see, you will see later on the hands-on that this cluster is made of a maximum of 12 emails or verbatims. Let's call verbatims, where a verbatims is one communication. It can be a ticket, an email, and whatsoever. So it will give you a view of 12 verbatims that he thinks are similar, or there are something that is similar inside them. And you can easily validate them. And as I said before, you can then add other labels that are maybe missing there, but present here, or you can add entities. So this is speeding up the process of training in a ridiculous way. And then about the analyze, I was saying that there are a lot of dashboard in communication mining, and these help you to understand where the problems are, or which are the most common topics in your communication. We can see, for example, that the 65% of your verbatims contain the refund labels. I think it's an insight that before communication mining was very hard to have it. And with communication mining, you will need I don't know, couple of hours, no, couple of days of training. It's very ready to use, and I think that these analytics will give a boost to your company in a unpredictable way. So coming to an end, the validate pillar. So this validate page will be like your Bible. I mean, it will be. I don't want to offend anyone. Sorry. It will be the main page that you will use, because in this page you will see the rating of your model, and on the bottom of the page you will see what's working and what can be improved. And in what can be improved, there are even suggestions from at Communication Mind that will tell you, hey, look, Flavio, there is this label that you need to train better. Click here, and it shows you, for example, 10 random communication, and you have only to validate those communication. So it's like an help from communication mining to train better. And the last pillar we already spoke, it's the automate. So all the prediction annotation are available via API for driving automation in our system. Zero code API endpoint configuration make simple to trigger downstream processes. So instead of reading, with the outcome of communication mining will be very easy to take this outcome. You can use UiPath, you can use APIs, as we see on the slide, to take decision, and then automate the ultimate part of the process. After the understanding of the message, you can take decision, trigger automations, trigger other things, and everything is easy and let me say plug and play. Okay, so last two slides. What communication mining means for the business. I will just go fast on this. Enhance efficiency, performance, and scale. So transform the customer experience and grow the ROI of the digital transformation. I will ask later on Dylan to go on deeper on this. I will just leave you with this last slide and what means for the COE. And having coming from a system integrator and coming from an experience in which you cannot always automate all your end-to-end processes, and you have the idea, but you don't have the tool, and you are there and say, "Oh my God, I just wanted to make this end-to-end." You can do it now with the communication mining, and you can take AI in your business with very easy. I don't know the English word for this. Sorry. And you can easily measure and improve your automation impact. So I will stop here. Just give you reminding you that there is the academy. There are plenty of courses on communication mining and other stuff. Great in UiPath platform. And so I would like to ask.
Let's maybe take 2 minutes. I already shared the academy links and the documentation of the product documentation in the chat. I will reshare the links in a bit so everybody keeps them. We have a bit of questions. Dylan answered most. I see a lot of questions around the verbatim content we just used.
I cannot hear you very well, Christina. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll grab it.
Okay.
So there was a question around essentially what's a verbatim. And my sort of high-level answer is I believe that is the terminology that's used to describe a message, essentially.
Yes,
so
yes.
An email or something like that. I think it's kind of been phased out in favor of just the term message. But I know there's a lot of documentation and stuff like that still around. You know, one thing to remember is that this product has evolved. It is not brand new, and it's evolved under a different name, even pre-coming to UiPath. So some of the terminology and things like that have changed over time, but essentially a verbatim is an instance of a message.
Yes. Yes, thank you for the clarification. It's like, let's say it's a common name to aggregate all these kind of messages, emails, CRM tickets. So maybe it's just easier to say in that way. Other question? Or you want to take the stage, Dylan?
There were a lot of questions around the generation of insights and labels, but I think you answered those subsequently in the presentation. And the rest of them were taken over by Dylan, especially the limitations around the community edition, which we know is a question for all. And I think Dylan explained that. We are trying to work through that now to make it more available, like in terms of practical opportunity in the community edition. And hopefully we'll have news soon on that. So Dylan, you can take over now.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah, and just sort of on that point, you know, we said this is similar to document understanding, but one thing that is different is that document understanding ingests a document at a time, essentially, whereas with communications mining, you want to sort of put a lot of messages into the tool so that you can begin to do the modeling that you need. So there is a bit of an upfront sort of cost, if you like, in terms of AI units. So if you can get your hands on some in some way, whether that's community edition, but certainly trial would be better, then that would be kind of the way to go. Right, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to have a little look at some ideas essentially around how communications mining can be used. Now I have, there we go. Can you see that? Fabio, is that sharing?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. So I've alluded as we've gone through in the chat actually to a couple of things that we'll be talking about here, but really I wanted to sort of give you some examples and some ideas about how you can use this in more real life type scenarios. And we're going to do that by looking at a couple of different angles, if you like, to the kind of benefits that you can get from communications mining, because I think that in many ways there is kind of two sides, if you like, to what companies and businesses can potentially get out of this technology. Now, before I get too far into it, I first of all just wanted to put Flavio actually on the spot. So apologies, Flavio, but you know, you've shown that you're quite passionate about this tool, and I am as well. You know, I think this is a very important tool to come into the technology stack for UiPath and come into the platform. And there are a number of different benefits. But what do you think is the most or the biggest benefit, should we say, from comms mining? How can it have the biggest impact to businesses, would you say?
You know, coming from an experience of a business process outsourcer, I think that having the chance to understand what are the needs of my customer and having the chance to address them quickly, I think that's an amazing opportunity. So I would say that, Dylan, if you ask me one.
No, that's great, and thank you for providing one, because that was a harsh question. I don't think I could literally put one, right, because there is loads, and it is really good. But really what you're saying there is that there is, you know, you're getting an insight with communications mining into a channel that really has been opaque essentially before this. You know, there's very few things and tools out there in the market that read and analyze these types of communications. And especially when you think that we don't just have to talk about emails here. This is also, you know, Slack chats and Teams and anything essentially that is that free form text. So it could even be things like notes sections in CRM applications or anything like that. That would still constitute essentially a message. So yeah, having sort of some insights into that channel, especially for that the customer services teams that are going to be obviously enacting that kind of customer facing task, then it's going to be really valuable. And as I say, give an insight that really wasn't there previously. So I think that's great. And we're going to go through and have a look at a couple more things, I guess, in terms of the benefits that you can get out of communications mining. And we will look at some broad sort of concepts, and we'll also then look at a couple of examples, one being a very specific example of communications mining being used in a business, and the other is how communications mining can work into this wider tool set that we're talking about here, all under the UiPath platform, to achieve really genuinely transformational results in businesses. So hopefully this will be valuable and give you some food for thought as to where potentially this could be used and how those benefits can be drawn out from the kind of stuff that you're looking at, basically. So the first thing I kind of want to say is that communications mining, whilst it's part of an automation platform, that is obviously the UiPath platform, it is not an automation tool in the same way that, for instance, a robot is. So the communications mining tool doesn't do a lot of doing in the sort of traditional sense of what a robot does, right? It doesn't go clicking around systems. It doesn't you know, move data around from system to system or anything like that. But obviously it does do something, and largely what it does is underpinned by the AI capabilities that are within it. So it's giving answers really, as opposed to sort of the kind of traditional automation that we've seen previously from RPA. So what it can act as is a mechanism and a way for you to understand things, and also to feed other forms of automation. And for me, this is really where the benefits of communications mining can be split into two fairly distinct sort of categories, if you like. So on the one side, you've got the actual capturing of this data and these communications. You're going to get a rich source of information for the business and for the users around the business on, as I say, what is traditionally a fairly opaque channel, but one that is you know, one of the biggest ways to communicate with different businesses in the sort of modern age, if you like. So there's huge sort of swathes of benefits for individual businesses that can be drawn out of just having that data available to you and having the ability to analyze that data to make decisions, for instance, around the business. Now, on the other side of things, you have the actual automation capabilities. So this sits in amongst the wider automation platform. And we know that we have these RPA robots, we have document understanding, and we have lots of different tools that we can leverage in order to automate certain processes. And by having communications mining at the front here, you know, at the ingestion point of messages that are coming into the business, it's going to be an enabler for you to do automation. Put simply, you know, if you cannot read messages, if you cannot read emails, then you cannot simply throw them to a robot and reasonably get good outcomes from that. I'm sure probably every single one of us has been in a situation where we try and take emails and ingest them through a robot, maybe using regex or something like that. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's not really good enough. And the weak link there is the humans, right? The humans who send the emails, because we can put any text we want in these messages, and it's difficult to have a robot understand it in order to do any automation off the back of it. So we had a good example in the chat earlier on around a use case for IP address changes, for instance. Now, that actually is an example where you could probably regex an IP address out of an email fairly easily, but would you be able to really accurately understand whether this person needs it updating or changing, or whether they're just telling you something? Probably not. That's where you kind of need a bit more of the AI in terms of the intent and the sentiment of the message itself. So we're going to see then how obviously that communications mining piece can do all of that for you and therefore feed into your robots, allowing you to essentially do more with the wider UiPath estate as well. So with that in mind, with those two kind of pillars, I guess, up in front of us, then we've got 6 examples here of how communications mining can drive better outcomes essentially around the business. And I still feel that these fall under these 2 kind of pillars, if you like, of benefits, but they draw out different outcomes essentially. So first of all, we have enhancing efficiency and performance at scale. So we can essentially understand more about the processes that are happening in business. And completely outside of the automation space, this is always something that we've wanted to do in business so that we can just understand how we can do things better. You simply cannot make informed business decisions without data underpinning that as well. And this is what you're going to get out of communications mining. We've also got transforming the customer experience. So the ability now to read and understand what is going on in these messages, and especially if you just had no way of understanding that previously, the insights that you're going to get from how you are being communicated to and what your customers are actually saying about your products, for instance, is going to be incredibly valuable. And you can use those then as tools and drivers for what you want to do to improve that service. And again, it doesn't even need to be automation. It might be that the answers that you get from doing comms mining is that you need more people talking to them on the phones because they're complaining that they want to talk to a human. So if you want to up that customer service, maybe that's what you do. It would be outside of the realms of automation, but you're still getting that insight through communications mining, and having that data available to you is going to let you again make those kind of decisions. We've also got growing the ROI of digital transformation. This is a little bit broader, but again, essentially the data that we're now able to collect through using something like communications mining is going to be able to facilitate more MI capture. It's going to be able to facilitate looking at not just your processes, but also your data, and being able to apply things like business outcomes from all over the business and translating that into how it's going to affect your communications, for instance, to your customers. We've also got automate more and extend automation. And really, this is alluding just to the fact that this is going to be a mechanism and a conduit by which you can then do more automation. You might have a problem, as I say, where you want to automate a process, but right now you just can't get over what I've sometimes called the input problem, right? How do you get an input that comes into your business and make it so that a robot can then work with it? And sometimes that's really easy. It might be something like something coming out of a system, so it's in the right format and it's digital and everything else. And other times it might be that it is not so easy. So it's coming from free text or anything like that. And that's going to mean that, you know, without something here to be able to take those steps to, for instance, digitalize that data, you're not going to be able to do the onward automation, or at least not without chucking bodies at it, as it were. So you could obviously get humans to read stuff and input it into a system, but we want to be moving away from that kind of way of working, and ultimately automate as much as we reasonably can within the businesses that we work in. You've also got scaling of AI across the business. Now, we know that AI is in many different products at the moment, and to say that probably any company doesn't have something that uses AI is probably false at this point. But this represents, again, another step in terms of utilizing quite specific AI for specific business challenges. Now, AI is incredibly prevalent, obviously, at the moment, but you know, it is really worth understanding the different types of AI and why they are important. And quite often what we see in businesses is very specialized and specific AI being deployed for a particular business challenge. You know, the GPTs of the world are fascinating and can definitely give you some good outcomes, but it's not something that you can really plug into a process to provide that kind of end-to-end automation. And that's where stuff like document understanding and communications mining provides the tools to actually solve those specific business challenges as well. Now, finally, another one of the outcomes that you can get from using something like communications mining is going to be to measure and improve the automation's impact. And actually, I'd say it goes beyond automation into just business change generally, right? So if you imagine that you are essentially now monitoring the communications from your clients coming into your business, you have your finger on the pulse, as it were, in terms of what our customers are currently saying to us. And what that means is that anytime you make any changes, whether that is product changes, process changes, changes to the way that you communicate with them, anything like that, you should see the effect of that coming through your customer services team, and therefore coming through comms mining as well. So it can provide a valuable measurement for whether you are essentially doing the right thing and taking the right steps when you're tackling all sorts of different problems around the business. So moving forward then, that was quite a high level look essentially at what kind of outcomes you can get essentially from process mining. But I wanted to slowly kind of drill into something more specific here. So what we can see here is again, sort of a fairly broad set of different use cases that you could get from different industry verticals. So we can see a number of different common industries here, all with certain specific challenges that you could ultimately overcome by using communications mining, or by using communications mining alongside other tools, whether that's within the UiPath stack or outside of it. So who is this going to be useful for? Well, as you can see, in truth, probably most companies, right? Most companies are using emails, most companies are using chat facilities and stuff like that, messaging facilities. So almost all companies could benefit from having that increased visibility and also getting those actionable insights from the communications channels that they've got. But here we can see some examples of where this could be, as I say, very beneficial for specific use cases in particular industry verticals, as well as some more general points as well. So we can see here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the first example there is just a generic company. So almost any company, for instance, could probably benefit from understanding better their customer and employee feedback. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just dip into a couple of these and see them in a little bit more detail. And one of the things that we'll start off is by looking at this kind of customer or employee feedback and sort of taking that through comms mining and what kind of outcomes we could get with it. So I'm going to show you here a scenario, and this is a customer service scenario. This is a pseudo real life example. So this is something that one of our clients brought to us. I've kind of desensitized it and generalized it a bit for the purpose of this demo. But essentially, imagine that you are working with a large food manufacturing business. And if that is the case, then product recalls are probably amongst the worst thing that you could have happen to said business. So this would be when a piece of a product that they do, some food, whatever it is, has to be recalled for whatever reason. Typically, you know, the reasons aren't going to be good. It's because there may be contaminants or risk of certain things happening. So as far as a food manufacturer goes, that's about as bad as it gets in terms of events that will happen for that particular business. And that represents the worst case scenario. Obviously, there's a road leading up to that point around other things that might happen before, you know, a recall necessarily. And what we found is that what they found is that when this happens, they will often see that if they retrospectively look back over the communications that they've had over certain periods, there were indicators within those communications that could have alluded to the fact that a recall might, you know, be happening. So essentially, there are things that they could have picked up on in amongst the emails and discussions that they were having with their customers, that if they were looking at it in the right way, they could have potentially foreseen this happening. And having that ability would mean that potentially they could avoid certain situations, and also they could maybe you know, enact things faster. So rather than waiting for customers to tell you that something is wrong, you can proactively do something about it, which is going to be a better outcome for both you and the customers as well. Now, just some additional information on this scenario then. So one being that customer messages from multiple channels are actually already collated when they're passed through to the customer services team. So in this particular instance, we're talking about emails. We're also talking about phone calls where the agent has filled out a form as to what's happened on the call. We're also talking about forms like web forms that allow customers to give feedback. All of this is brought together into one data set that's then passed on to the customer services team. The other thing of note is that within that customer services team, there's also a range of actions which they perform, which could be automated. So depending on exactly what, you know, the communication is, there is further opportunities for automation using more traditional automation techniques like RPA, for instance. So if that's our problem, that's our the challenge that the customer is currently happening, or that the business is currently happening, we can move then forward onto the solution. Now, the solution for this is pretty cut and dry in terms of communications mining being a great fit here. We are definitely talking about messages and emails and things like that. We are talking about trying to understand intent, sentiment, and next best actions off the back of the communications essentially that are happening. And here they need the visibility on those communications. And so for this solution, it's going to be leaning sort of heavily on the benefit side of the analytics piece, right? They need to understand what it is that these communications are telling them in terms of a sort of big picture. So as I say, pretty cut and dry in terms of using communications mining. And but as a secondary benefit, we are also going to draw some benefit from the other side around enabling automation as well. So the solution is going to be that using communications mining on the already collated data, because remember, that's already happened, we're going to be able to classify according to type and subtype of communication, the products that are involved, as well as sentiment and message extraction. So making sure that we're getting everything essentially out of those messages. What this is going to allow the business to do is understand those specific issues with specific products in real time. As the information is going to be coming into the business, communication is going to be, or communications mining, sorry, is going to be taking that information at the point at which it's being ingested. So as soon as it comes into the business, essentially providing as close to a real-time view on what these customers are saying as possible, essentially. So they can then use the dashboards in communications mining. And this is something that Flavio will share a little bit later on when he does the hands-on session. But the dashboards are then going to give us the information relating to the analysis that communications mining can do. So it's going to be able to tell us what products are being talked about, whether people are annoyed, whether people are not, how different relationships between tasks and products are kind of coming into the business, and therefore what the next best actions are, whether that's to automate or solve some of these customers' problems. And the idea here is that they're able to identify those areas of concern or focus, so those products that potentially are on this journey towards one of the like a recall event or something like that. And it's going to inform the business of the potential for these things to happen, allowing them to respond to them faster. So that solves really the big problem they were having, which is right now, people are telling us stuff, but we can't put the big picture together to say, right, what they're saying is there's a problem with this product. So in using communications mining, we're getting that as a benefit. But then in addition to that, the sort of other side of the benefits being enabling the automation or further automation from this, what we can see is that by ingesting, classifying and extracting all of those messages that are going to come into that customer service team, we can use communication mining to feed normal UiPath robots. So think of, in an IT scenario, first line support. You want to essentially identify those tasks that can be performed at that level by a robot, for instance, without requiring any extra complexity. And you can have communications mining extract the relevant information and feed it to those robots for those onward tasks. It wasn't part of the solution, but it was definitely a good outcome.
Yeah. Since we are half an hour. We have only half an hour, and what do you think? We can try to make some hands-on.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so we have obviously I just wanted to highlight some of the
continue.
ways that this has been used. So but that's pretty much it for this scenario. I do have another scenario around the digital mailroom and how it kind of fits together in the wider platform play. But what I would absolutely say is that if anyone wants more information on this, I'm very happy to give you this presentation, which has a couple more things in it as well around different scenarios and stuff like that. But I definitely don't want to keep you away from doing the hands-on session with Flavio. So Flavio, I'll hand back over to you if that's all right, and we'll do some of the more hands-on stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I spoke a lot in the first part of the meeting. So
no,
my bad.
Fine.
My bad.
It's all good.
Okay, so let me take back the screen. Okay. So let's start. And sorry again, Dylan, because I spoke a lot and it was my fault. So
don't worry, I think we're all looking forward to this, Flavio. So you crack on.
Okay, so this is the platform. So communication mining. Let's start and to create a new project. Okay. So we go here. We have all our platform here. You see, I have already some sources and already pre-made stuff. So we go in manage access, all project, and let's create a new project. Let's call it community event project. Okay, I am the founding user, Flavio Martinelli. Okay, and I will create a project. Okay, now let's create a source. So for this project, I will give restaurant reviews community event. It will create an API name. It's everything. It's automatic. Let's continue. I don't need a bucket here, and let's set the language in English. Okay. So let's create. I have created a source. Now the source is where the data are uploaded. So just to show you, okay, here I have my dataset, restaurant dataset reviews. So there are three important fields that you must have in your CSV. So the first one is the body of the message. Okay. The other one is a timestamp, and the second one is a unique ID. So it can be a 1, 2, 3, a GUID value. It's important to be that this value is unique, because you will be charged in AI units for every new message ID that you upload in your platform. And if you upload the 2 times the same message with the same ID, you will not be charged unless the message, the body of the message is changed. Okay. So this, as you can see, this is a data set that I have downloaded already. We have a restaurant reviewer, review, rating, metadata, time, pictures, and message ID. But what I will need is the review, time, and message ID column. Okay. Okay, don't save it. Let's come back here. Okay, in my sources, so the community event project restaurant review source, let's select my file. Documenti, eventi, communication mining, restaurant, this one. Okay, it will ask me for the message ID column. It's this one. The message column is the review, and the timestamp is this one time with the months before. So I will start uploading. As you can see, this is a billable operation. We will be charged 1 AI unit per created message or per updated message based on the unique ID. Okay, this will take a couple of minutes. I hate this. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just duplicate this so we can at least moving on while this is loading. Hoping that 1 second, I will continue sharing my. Okay, I hope I don't break anything. Okay, let's see in these few minutes, let's see my already pre-made model. Okay, so you can see there are a lot of tabs here: train, discover, explore, validation, reports, models, streams, and settings. So the first thing you have to do is you have to create a taxonomy. A taxonomy is can be imported from a CSV and is made in this way. So you have the main label, and then you can put more label, more sub-label in this way with this the major sign. Sorry, and I can make like a second child, for example, fast empathy. I don't know. Okay, I can create another sub-level. I will not do it for this experiment. But the first thing you have to imagine is you have to create a taxonomy. So it's very much important to having in mind the problems that you might find in your data set and create an initial taxonomy that you can update later on. But this is very important. And of course, you should create the entities. Let's see if this is okay. This is completed. So let's continue to create the project. Let me go back here. Okay, sorry, I have the tab of the sharing and it's a mess. So I have now to create a dataset, community event dataset. Okay, I have to select the project. Is this one? I have to select my sources. It's this one. Okay, it's in English. Okay, now I can import my labels. You can copy or import from a dataset. I will copy from a spreadsheet. So easy peasy, copy and paste here, import. Okay, next. Okay, in this particular example, I will enable the label sentiment. The label sentiment, you will see, it's a way to say if that particular label is positive or negative. Okay, it's one or the other. So I want to show you the label sentiment for this experiment because we already spoke about quality of service and tone analysis. Okay, let's create this. That's it. My model is ready. Okay. So you can see now is empty. It says that I have almost 10K messages, 11 labels, but I didn't review anything. I can move from the, that's the cluster in the Discover that I was saying before. So for the moment, communication mining is still calculating for clusters, so it will take some time. As you can see, the model is training. And there are a lot of way to teach the model, and we don't have the time to show you everything, but we will see a couple of them. So for the moment, as you can see, the validation is still not found, and there are some even the report page is empty. Okay, let's start to make some training. For this model, I will not use entities. Okay. I will show you later on how to do the entities. So as you can see, recommendation, review random messages. I click here and it showed me 10 messages. So let's start for this one. Definitely recommend their kebabs and dance floor. Used to be one of my favorite. Their service is prompt and it offers decent mocktails. However, I would love to see some signature drinks on menu. Definitely recommended. So these are my labels. As you can see, these are the top prediction for this. We can say they loved their kebab. So we can say that food quality is green because it was good, and the dance floor was good. So let's say that ambience is good. Their service is prompt. So we can say that the staff was okay. And they will suggest some signature drinks on the menu. But I don't have a label for this, and I don't think for the moment it's okay. Maybe we can say that the food quantity is bad because they want more drinks, and I can add this overall label that say that overall this restaurant was good. Okay, then I click next. Okay. As you can see, one of my favorites. The place is just amazing. Take any shake and you won't be disappointed. Templates, I don't know what it is. Actually justify its name. I really hope the quality remains the same. So as you can see, communication mining is already saying that is 80% confident that this food quality label should be green and should be found. And instead, it's found because they are saying that all the shakes are good. And for these are not suggested by communication mining, and I don't think that we need to add them to this particular example. Let's go on. Poor quality. So as you can see, communication mining speak about the quality, but is still not confident. So in this moment, this prediction is not good because they are saying that the quality is not good. So, okay, red, food quality, red, and go on. Excellent experience, food was good ambience, good place, awesome their behavior, etc., etc. Okay, so food quality, we can say it's good. They are speaking even about the stuff. We can say that overall experience is good. And they spoke about the ambience. So ambience is good. As you can see, this is very, very easy, guys and girls. Baby corn is not there. In paneer and corn is birani. Sorry, guys. This is from Indian restaurants. I don't know Indian food. So let's say that overall this is negative. The food was excellent. As you can see, the more the green, and the more is confident. So we can already say that food was empty. I had fast today. Food was awesome. I had full stomach and experience. Thank you. We can say that overall this is green. And we have 15 minutes left, guys. So I cannot go too much on. But this is the first training. Let's switch to my already pre-made model. So as you can see, it says that my balance is good. 8.52% of the data has been reviewed. So the model feels very confident. As you can see, it feels confident with only 500 messages reviews. And most of them, I have reviewed them with the cluster, and I will show you how easy it is to review with cluster. So it was not an hard job for me. So let's go to the discovery. Okay. As you can see, the discovery can be made or on search, because I can search, for example, food, and it will search for food, and I can maybe there are some keywords in your company, and this can help you. Otherwise, you can rely on communication mining, and it will say that all these messages in this cluster might have this label: delivery, incorrect order. In fact, we can see received half order, not delivered, order was not delivered, 2 items were missing, I did not get my order. So you can see that every cluster is different. So this one is it was good. So probably we can add the overall. Okay, I can choose the label here and make apply. Okay, so now I have already tagged 12 messages. It's very easy. Okay, very late. Late delivery late. Okay, fast. We can say that the delivery fast is red, and that's it. Now I'm not reading all the messages because I have 50 minutes, guys, and then I have to leave for another meeting. Sorry. Okay, then there could be other way to train this model. For example, here it shows you all the labels. Okay, and if you have some labels that are not working fine, you should see like red dots here, or semicircular icons that tells you that you might need more training for these particular labels. And even here, I can communication mining suggests me some labels. Arrived on time, this is fast. Okay, despite the rush, everything was packed, so this is okay, and that's it. On the validation, okay, you can see that my model rating is 91%. All the labels are have an excellent performing. There are some maybe something that I can do on the underperforming labels. 93% of the messages have at least one labels, and there are some recommendations. So I need to train some random messages or review some messages to reduce the bias. So as you can see, this is communication mining that speaks to me and suggests me how to teach him. I think it's amazing, guys. Sorry if I'm going in, and we can try to speak them to speak later. As you can see on the dashboard, okay, all my are from 2018, so you can see all the messages over time, recent messages, because imagine that this communication mining is attached to one mailbox, so you can see all the recent messages. I can see, for example, other analytics, the label summary. I can see that delivery has this kind of incorrect order. There are 29% of the messages that have incorrect order red, and fast instead is 73% of the messages. All the tone by labels, quality of service by labels. So there are plenty of dashboard that really can help you in analyzing what's happening in your company and in your messages. Trends. Okay, you can see all these label sentiment trends, all these label volume trends. So I don't have, sorry, the time to deep dive on this, but there are lots of analytics that I think will be game changer for your company. Then the models. This is where you let me say, like in Orchestrator, you upload your package. That's the same things. You can upload your models, and you can then use these models in the studio. And I will go in the studio right now. The stream is a different is a way in which you can tell communication mining. Okay, for example, communication mining. Dear communication mining, if you read a message and you think that there is this for this label, please use this threshold 35%. And as you can see, I can say that with 97% of threshold, so communication mining must be 97% confident that labels is found. So I will be 100% precise, but probably I will miss a lot of I will have a lot of error or miss the label. So you can decide which threshold you might use. For example, with the balance of the threshold, I can have an 82% precise model, but I will probably have less error. So for every 100 verbatim, you can expect 18 to be wrongly labeled as ambience. And for 100 verbatims, which should have been correctly labeled as ambience, you can expect to miss about 11. So this is about it's about your feeling on this. And with the streams, you can tell communication mining, please take my incoming messages and make predictions. Okay, sorry, I will switch very quickly on the studio because I need to leave in 10 minutes. I have prepared 3 exercises. So the first one is taking input data. So you imagine that I have an input data CSV with a message ID, date time, review, and etc. etc. We're always speaking about restaurant review people. Okay, I will ask Studio to read the CSV, and then for each row in the CSV, I will use the communication mining activities that are this one. Okay, create record. I will create a record. I will predict a record with the AI model version. Okay, this is the model that I have published, let me say, so I can use it. And I will ask him to use a threshold of 35% for all the labels. I will then make a for each in all the labels. I will extract all the labels that are found. I will get for all the labels the tone and the quality of service. And I will create an output on Excel. So let's run this. Okay. Okay, as you can see, is taking all the labels and the tone and quality of service. General tone and quality of service, not the specific tone and quality of service of that specific label. Okay. So let's go and check the output data. Output sheet. Okay. So as you can see, for these messages, I have these labels: ambience, food quality, delivery fast, and this quality of service and tone. Let's try to see. So one very bad and one, okay, maybe this one. Despite ordering well in advance, the delivery was incredibly late. The food finally arrived, it was cold, and the food seemed indifferent to our concern. Disappointing. So it speaks about delivery and delivery fast and stuff. And quality of service and tone is very bad. So as you can see, how this is one way on how extract insights from our communication mining. I will go quickly on the other example. This is with the API. Briefly, I will still read from this CSV. I will use the API of communication mining. Okay, you can find all the documentation. I will ask them to make predictions on this. And then I will extract all the labels, and with APIs it's possible to extract the sentiment of the labels. So I will extract each label sentiment, and basically with the use of GPT-4, I will reply to the customer, and the prompt will be this. So write an answer to a restaurant review. This customer spoke about these topics in his review. Body prompt, so sorry, this is the variables. Don't need to sign with my name or position. Okay, this is to avoid errors. And in the body prompt, that I will pass in the variable, I will say this label was, the customer has spoken about this label in a positive way, or the customer has spoken about this label in a negative way. So let's see what is the result of this. I have my junk email open here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's going very fast. So you can see this is extracting the labels and their values. And let's see if I received some answers. Okay, it's going on. Let's see. Okay. Thank you for sharing your lovely experience in our restaurant. We are thrilled to hear that our ambience enhanced your dining experience and you enjoyed the food we offer. It's always rewarding to hear our efforts in maintaining food quality have been appreciated. We pride ourselves in offering delicious meals using the best ingredients. We look forward. So you can see probably the prediction are that he loved the food and the ambience, and so we answered using his review. Okay, so this is another answer. Thank you for taking time to review our restaurant. We are thrilled to hear that you found the ambience and the quality of our food to be your taste. We are truly sorry to hear about your disappointment with our delivery service and our staff. Your feedback is very important to us. So guys, this is a very stupid example, but imagine applying this to, as Dylan was saying before, to a customer service environment in which you can quickly answer the customer needs. I think this is a game changing. So this was one of the other examples that I would like to show you, and I'm really sorry if I'm going very fast, but please reach us, me and Dylan, we will help you, and we will answer your questions. Okay, the other one is with the stream. So the reset stream is an activity that puts you back in time. I had to use this because my stream was very old. So I told him, take this project, take this data set and select your stream, the stream I showed you before. So the stream with all the thresholds for each labels, and go back in time. Now fetch from the stream. So it's like the get transaction activity. And from this feed, from these results, take the quality of service, who is writing to me, the tone, extract all the labels, and even here answer with the ChatGPT. If the tone and quality of service are more than 0, answer with a positive. We imagine that the review was positive. If the tone and quality of service were less than 0, we imagine that this review was negative. Okay. Then the last activity is advanced stream. So it takes your stream up to the message you just analyzed. So in fact, it says advanced to stream ID, sequence ID. Sequence ID is a property of the variable stream feed. So let's try to use even this one. Okay, let me close this. Okay. as you can see, these are all that's from the API example. Okay, it's starting. I don't remember if I have some log messages, probably not. Sorry, because this ChatGPT takes some time. Let's see. Okay, so this is a message box. So we should have, okay. Hello, Rushka Chakraborty. Sorry for my pronunciation. Thank you for sharing your fabulous review with us and the community. We're delighted to hear that you enjoyed your ambience. So basically, it's like the same structure of the previous example. But this was, guys and girls, this was just three quick example, and hope you enjoyed them. So I will stop sharing, and if there are any questions that we can try to use these 5 minutes. And sorry again if I was too quick maybe on this part, but we can.
Don't worry, Flavio. I think we will have to do a follow-up also with
Yes.
hands-on project to this session, like maybe to present another 2 in a slow pace. And
Yeah.
maybe we can do that in about 2 or 3 weeks to give you and Dylan time to prepare it. And I think everyone would be up for that. There are a lot of questions around licensing, and I registered those, and I will definitely try to set up a Q&A with our licensing team, including the opportunities within the community license. I think we have a lot of questions now around what is a stream. Many people like if you can define the stream.
Yes. Okay. Basically, as I was saying before, a stream is a terminology in your communication mining, and is a way to say to communication mining, hey, okay, using this threshold, you are free to predict automatically the messages. Okay, so imagine to attach a stream to or a dispatcher robot or to a connector that continuously takes data, and you have a robot that continuously get this data from the stream, and that this data are already predicted, and you then can review them. Okay, and if you have other question about the stream, I will ask you to, of course, give a quick look on the documentation, because as you can see, as the disclaimer I said at the start, I'm a noob in communication mining, so maybe I might mislead something, but that's what I understand from communication mining, and that's what you can find in documentation. But if I miss something, please refer always to our documentation.
I think there are some advantages in having a new user doing a demo, because it also transmits like a lot of the questions and the confusion you might have as a new user, which is something that is the case for our entire audience maybe, or like at least 70% of it. We have another question about the limitations to use tabular data. Can it understand tabular data? I can recall this was a limitation a few months back.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have an answer right now. But as Dylan was suggesting, I think that why don't we solve the problem at the start? No. So let's try to fix the problems at the start. But please reach me on LinkedIn. I will try to understand with if there is a better answer than mine, because now I'm pretty tired, so I don't have a good answer. I don't know if Dylan solved this
Well,
issue.
no, I agree. You know, my first port of call would be solve it at source. But again, you know, we have to take the entire platform into account, and the wonder of just your average robot, your average RPA robot, is that it can do an awful lot of all of this low-level work. So if the problem you're having is because you've got emails and they've got tabular data in them, I would say, you know, if you can't solve it at source, can you at least get that running through a robot, which will extract out the table, and then it can then be fed into comms mining, almost like a dispatcher. to just slightly transform the data before it goes into comms mining. It does not have to be a direct link to an actual email. You know, you can feed this data in through CSV files and various other means. So it's doable. It's just how complicated you need to get it to take account of that kind of scenario.
Okay, I think at this point, like Flavio, if you have another meeting, you can jump. I can stay like 5 more minutes with Dylan to close the session.
Okay. Yes, because I have an important meeting.
Thank you very much, Flavio. And I just have like a few things to say, and then we'll see if there are other Q&A from the audience. I will enable everyone to unmute now in case there are like live questions to ask. So.
Okay, thank you everyone for attending this meeting, and I big thanks to Dylan, because without him it wasn't possible. So thank you, and let's do a follow-up. Rome, London are working fine together.
Absolutely. I know you got to go off, but no, just to echo that, Flavio, you by far had the hardest thing to do throughout this one. There was, you know, all about you really. So thank you so much. It is never easy doing this in a different language regardless, but I think you've absolutely smashed it. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
First of what I'm sure is many.
Thank you. And sorry for leaving early. Bye to everyone.
No
bye, Christina.
Take care.
Okay, so let's take some Q&A live. If any of you wishes to unmute themselves and ask questions to Dylan now to see what we have like remaining for today. If there are any questions.
Hey, this is Akhil here. I just want to know, like, if we can get, like, I just like mentioned in the chat as well. So I just wanted to know, like, if we have one more session only on the hands-on or something like that, just to go over it and with the slow pace, that would be really great. Because right now we got basic understanding, the use case and how useful it is for like the business. That kind of information we got really well. If we have more hands-on thing, like for another hour or hour and a half, that would be really great.
Okay, yeah, for sure we will do that, and I promise, like when we set that session up, I will make sure like we set it up in the next month, so pretty quickly now, to keep like the audience hot, and I will send an email to the entire database of RSVPs to this event, so I can make sure that you attend the practical session again in a slow pace.
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah, you know, one of the problems with more practical versions of this, obviously, is kind of what we're saying in the chat around licensing it and things like that. But ultimately, there's nothing stopping you with just a few AI units, at least kind of going through the steps. So we can definitely do a more hands-on session. You know, time is always of an essence when it comes to these things. But I believe, and Christina, keep me honest here, but we are going to be exploring a few of these different AI products, making sure to really get you hands-on with it over the course of this year. So that is absolutely part of our agenda, if you like. And so given that we've got this ongoing, we'll try and get that one in sooner rather than later.
Yes, we do have like an AI training series coming up, but we are waiting a bit of updates from our certification team, because our point when we will launch this AI training series is to take the audience and train them as close to the certification level as they can get, so we can get like end-to-end training and conversion. This will be our spot, but if it's a bit delayed, we will still have the hands-on session for communications mining pretty soon, so no worries on that one. And you will get the invite link. Also, as you will get the recording and deck from today, you will have them tomorrow in your email and on the event registration link, so you'll be able to access all the content from today's session. Are there any other questions? Hello, Yeppe.
I have a quick one. It's not totally related to this, but I've seen that in the Americas, they have these instructor-led training sessions. Are those available in Europe as well?
I will let Christina give I know B2B, business to business, it's possible. B2C, I'm not sure. Christina, you might know a little bit more.
You mean like for partner accounts, or like not community sessions, or you mean community sessions?
To be honest, I don't know. I've just seen people being very happy to have attended these instructor-led training sessions through the academy, I believe. Yeah, I'll look into it and then I'll ask a more qualified question.
Maybe so I know exactly like on which channel, in what medium those sessions were, like if they were like dedicated customized session for a certain audience, or if they were community sessions. I think all the community sessions and series that are in the Americas are published on the community events, and they're accessible to absolutely everyone. So it doesn't matter whether you're located in India, in France, or in Denmark. You can at any time access and RSVP to any community event published on our platform. The only limitation you will have is time zone. So
Yeah. Okay.
other than that, you are free to explore any community chapter and any event from any region, led by any MVP or instructor or technical account manager, as we had today. So no worries on that one.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then we will close for today. So I'm glad we had such huge engagement in the chat, and I will certainly use the chat archive now to send to our colleagues, and keep in mind all the questions you posted today in the chat. And we have our homework to release another practical hands-on session, a bit slow-paced for communications mining, and maybe set a next session for a Q&A with our licensing team. And I think those were like the biggest dilemmas for today. I hope you got a lot from this session. It was certainly very interesting also for me, like in terms of learning, and it was wonderful to see the model also, but also like the use cases and like the cross-industry view of what Dylan presented, very useful as well. I will let Dylan now to close with a few words, and thank you all for attending.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. It's a shame Flavio isn't here because, you know, I think he did a fantastic job at going through that. And if the overarching feel is we need more, then that's not a bad place to finish up, and we can certainly help and facilitate that. But what I really hope that you've got from today is just a little bit more information and understanding about what can be done, but also, you know, I really wanted to try and open your eyes to the possibility and what this kind of means for the platform and how it can solve some of these specific problems for those of us that are working with businesses that really want to take automation by the reins and do it at scale. So this is a really important tool. It's definitely one of the ones that I'm really excited about. So it's so great that all of you are wanting to engage with it, and we will follow up as soon as we can with some more for you.
Thank you, everyone. See you in our next sessions. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.